Hello, and welcome to a slightly spur-of-the-moment updated video for Cambourne Crier concerning the new layout and template. Now, this is the new master template. Now, as you can see, it's got all kinds of boxes and all kinds of text in it. So we'll go through this a little at a time just to show you what it is and how this particular template can help you in being able to get the things done within a reasonable or even a really good amount of time. Now, to zoom out, remember, hold down Control on your keyboard and scroll with the mouse wheel, and the same thing to go in. So what we'll do is we'll start over here. Now, it's speaking about this little community box down at the bottom here. It's changed according to the article, i.e. if it's community, education, sport, council, churches, whatever, you just click inside the box, just left click inside the box, and change it to whatever you wanted it to be. Oops, that's all capitals. Churches, or of course back to community. It's a good question. Is it? Was it all capitals? Let me quickly check. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, so that's fine. Even though sometimes I need to do a little checkup, you just change that. So one of the first things you do if you're starting a new page concerning whatever your particular article is about. Then you've got some heading. Often if they don't supply the heading, you can make the heading depending on what's actually in there. Now this particular one, the headings, which we'll get to in a minute, but it just goes there. This one technically goes all the way across, but this picture covers over it, over here, but it's fine because the text only goes to here. Let's see, the next bit we've got here is concerning pictures. Now pictures, they're added to all kinds of different articles, but you need to make sure you get the right shape. To get the right shape, you can trim them using the crop feature. You just basically click on the item, right click, go down to the photo lab, and then go to the crop tool. This one's already been cropped to be kind of a square shape, but let's say you need more of a flat shape because you've got a gap in your text. You want to go more flat, boom, like that. And then you, of course, click here and here, and you've got a smaller photo. Now, if your photo's too small, but it's the right shape, then you can just expand it out this way, that way, whatever way you need to go. So that's fine. If you paste a picture in, like you insert file and insert picture, let's say you go insert picture from file. Let's say I want to put in a picture of this awesome kitty cat with fireman's hat. I was like, okay, yeah, put it in. But you're not usually putting in blank spaces. So let's say if you go over to the text, let's go down to the text, and you want to insert the picture here, because you need a picture of a kitty cat here. So go again, insert picture from file, back to Mr. Kitty Cat. Make sure it says embed there. Embed, not linked, embed. Click it. Yeah, so you shrink it down, Now, another thing to remember here is do not have it, if possible, don't have it linked to the text. So right down here, the anchor object, detach from text. Because that way you can put your picture where you want it, and when you move your text around, it doesn't mess it all up. So it's detached from text, and you no longer see that anchor picture. That's the thing. So you can see the awesomeness of Mr. Fireman Kitty Cat. But we don't need him there at the moment. So that's fine. That's the standard stuff about pictures. I've also got information here concerning putting, if you want to put a little thing on the picture, you can actually use these things on the template, by the way. You know, if it's a dark picture, you want dark background with light stuff, you could just click this, drag this over to your picture, and type in whatever you need. Or if it's a different kind and you need a lighter one, you click that one, you can drag that over. Making sure, first or foremost, actually, the first thing you should do when you pull up a new thing is go to, let's say, this is my master template. You pull up the my master template, you go to File, Save As, and you something different. You say, first thing you do is save as something different. Let's say Community 6. Or something. If we can spell community. Common 6, okay. You save it as that. The first thing you do. That way now, your original template file is untouched. In which case then you can just do whatever you need to do with this and it's not going to affect your original template file. The one thing you don't want to do, don't mess up the original template file. It will make things much more difficult for you. So if you, like I said, if you need to put something in some of these pictures, you know, then you could just click in. You just grab this, drag it over, you know, to a relatively good spot. And you could say Sally, whatever, you know. And then it's fine. Actually, that's going kind of going into the middle. I mean, to the right hand justify. Let's make it left hand justify, or you can just put it in the middle. And then, of course, if you think, oh, the name's too short, just pull it up. You know, it's all very fine. You know, you could do all that kind of things. Just read about it right there. Blacks and whites, that's fine. Then let's go down a little bit. Now I've got headings. Standard headings, usually 24 in size, Franklin Gothic Demi. Sometimes you can just go slightly smaller. If it's like the second one on a page, you might be able to make it just a little bit smaller, like a 23 or something. If you just need just a couple of pixels to make the picture right, then you know it shouldn't be noticed too much. Headings are fairly simple. Now, here's one thing that sometimes gets to people, is the background color. Now, this example, that is the blue here is the background color, and that's the blue here. This thing right there, that's the background color. It's a filled-in text box, but that's what it is. Sometimes you need to differentiate between articles, like I said. So, sometimes things can be similar, but you need to differentiate. Like, no, this is for this person, this is for that person, but it might be speaking of a similar kind of thing. Boy Scouts and um, Girl Scouts or Cubs or whatever. Sometimes you need just a little differentiation. Having a background color like this can kind of make it stand out a little bit. And if you need a background color, you can just literally just click on this one, drag it where you want it onto the page, expand it out, and there you go. Now for some reason you're doing something and you can't seem to click on it properly. Let's see if I click here and I try to move this whole thing. I'm probably just moving this top text box. See? I'm moving the top text box. I don't want to do that. I want to move the thing underneath. So if I move it just slightly, then I click again, boom, I move the blue. Now I don't want to do that, but you could. Control Z, Control Z. There you go. And that's, an example. You can just shift things out of the way, and then you can get to what you need to get to. Let's see, let's zoom back out. So, remember, any of these things here you can deal with. I think the last main thing I've got is the actual text itself, dealing with text. So, the main body text. The first bit's often in bold, but it's an Arial. The font is Arial. It's a 9.5 with a lead at 120%. Now, you can see this if you clicked inside the text box, and you look over down the bottom right-hand side here. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving, but it should look like this stuff up here with character. That should say 9.5, but if you look down, it says 9.5, 100%, whatever. The main thing is like 9.5 and 120 here. Now, at the moment, that one doesn't say 120 because I'm not clicked inside the box. But if I go over here, click inside this box, look, see? 120, 9.5, down the bottom corner. 120, 9.5, and the font is Arial. That's the main thing for getting the text in. Now, the number of columns. Usually, it's 2. I made a mistake in my thing. I put ST instead of at. But that's fine. You can get over it. At the top of the page, usually it's 2 columns. Sometimes 1, sometimes 3, but usually 2. Depending on how big your text box is. Like, let's say this one has 2 columns. 1, 2. 2 columns. But let's say I go down here. This is like a half page portrait. That's 1 column. It's the same size as the 2 column one, but there's 1 column because it's only taking up half the page. Let's say if the other half of the page is going to be like an advert or something else like that. Same thing over here actually with 2 columns, but it's only taking up half the page. It's for like a half page, but landscape. This is portrait. Up and down, vertical type, portrait, side to side, landscape. Let's go back in. And the number of columns, you'll see up the top here, it's going to look like this, but up the top here says 2 frame columns. And when you put words in to the columns, let's say you want to, let's say you're altering this and you're taking this text out. but you want to put some other text in. Let me go get some text from something that, let's see, this is just my stuff here. Let's say we wanted to put something in from Cambourne Fire and Rescue. And we want to put this much information in. Pineapple barbecue, there. We just, if it's coming in just as text from an email, right click, copy. Now the fun part is when you go to put it in. You take all this, you don't go to where all is bold, but let's say this part, you right click, paste special, unformatted text, then click OK. And what it will do, if it's unformatted text you're putting in, it will keep the current text type, the same format. In other words, it's going to be 120% lead, 9.5. And then if you were going to do the whole thing, you just delete all this stuff that was there, and then you just take the first part, bold it, and of course you take out any of the gaps. If there's like a subheading, like this one would be like a little subheading. 3 spaces there. And you take out, other little bits and pieces. Stuff like that. You just tidy it up. But the key part is just pasting special. That way it gets in there. And of course, you would just, want to replace a picture. Say, well, fire safety isn't this kind of picture. What do we need for fire safety? Ooh, I don't know. We need a different picture for fire safety. Now, if they send a picture, great. Let's say they send, I don't know, this one. It's a great thing for fire safety. Now, this picture, well, that we need to detach from the text. Boom. But you think, oh, wait a minute. The old, this is in the way. We need to change that. That shouldn't be just someone's names. That should be something special. So we make sure we click inside there. And just delete any other bits. That's Fireman Cat. And let's take that. Let's left justify it. You think you're going to put over here. Put it there. Good. Make sure, though, if for some reason you can't see it properly, that you arrange it and you bring it to the front. See? Because if it's not arranged correctly, like it was when it was put in, because it'll put the new things on top. Let's say if you took the picture and you just like pasted it in, but let's say you arranged it and you brought that to the front, well, that part would disappear. So you click on it, right click, arrange, bring that to the front, and then you adjust. See? Much better. Then you just delete things. Firecat says no. There you go. There's a nice thing there for you. You've put in some text. You've got a picture, but you think, ooh, the text, when I put the text in, has this little symbol here. What's going on with that? This plus and this red box. Well, that means you've got more text or stuff in there than you should have, or that something would need to be altered. So you just delete the extra. And like here, oh look, I got more text than I need. So you edit it, the things up. Think, okay, all this seems to be good, but we don't need to know about, let's say, we just need to shorten some other bits and pieces. Let's say we just delete this part here. Boom, still got more. So, if you've gotten it all the way you want it, another thing you can do is fireman cat can actually go all the way to the corner now. Oh, then you need to move his thing. Yeah. There we go. And then look. Nice black box down here. Little black box says you've got enough text in there. Now it doesn't have to necessarily go all the way up there. You could, in fact, make it a little smaller. Bring it down to here. Or bring it down to here. That's fine too. You adjust as and when you need. Just, if you do use one of these little things to put a little memo, make sure you move it with the photograph. So then it stays fine, and boom, you've got your article in there. It's all the text you need is in. The little black box says so, because that means everything's in. You've altered your title. You've got your photo. You make sure your photo was embedded, not just linked, but embedded. And if you're not too sure, like, oh, did I embed that or did I link that? I'm not sure. You go up to the tools, resource manager. Look down here for the pictures. Everything's embedded. So that's all good. And that's pretty much it. The only other times you'll need to do things, sometimes you need to, like I said, sometimes it's half page top, half page bottom. Sometimes it's the whole page with 2 lines. But that's like the whole page kind of thing. Let's say you want to go the whole page with this fire article, but this is in the way. We'll just left click and hold, drag it to about there. You highlight everything, boom, done. You just delete it, hit delete, and then you just pull this down. And there you go. Let's say, oh, you need some more text. Depending on what kind of text you've got, you paste it in. This is already, the right stuff. But yeah, then you can do any alterations you need to do for a full page, or you can do the thing for a half page. Let's say you just need a half page, and boom, you got a half page there. You could use this for half page vertical for portrait, this for half page landscape, or any of these. And if you need like a full page, just pull the second article out. If you need for full page for one article, pull the other article out, bottom part out, drag this down, you're good to go. And I don't need to worry about messing up my original template, because remember, we've saved it as something else. Now, if you follow along these kind of things, I think it'll really help you. And every time you've got information in these boxes, don't use those boxes, for anything, but just read those if you need to. But these ones, they're already set up as extra templates. Let's say you got this template here, but you're only putting in half a page vertical. So you take this thing like this, you click, drag, and then hit delete. Let's zoom out a little bit. This half-page portrait, you go up above the top of it slightly. No, not that. Don't want to do that. Let's go over from here. Click, drag to that there. See the little thing here? It says click to group. You do that, then all of this. Oh, I guess that wasn't it. Control C. Oh, it goes down to there. Okay. I'll go all the way to the bottom. Click to group, yeah, which is great. Then you can just drag this whole thing up to there. Just put that inside, in between the blues. Always between the blues. Just make sure, yeah, that's between the blues. Click, boom. And say, oh, how can I get the text? Because I can't get the text. You go back down here, click to ungroup. That ungroups them. And then you can click inside and do whatever you need to do. You can, cut, paste, whatever. And boom, you got just half the page. Nice and easy. You just start off with, you look at your document that you've got, figure like, I wonder how much this is going to be. And then you work with it. If it's going to be half a page, go half a page. If it's going to be more than half a page, you go more than half a page. Because even though you've got it like this, and you're working on this, like, oh, no, need more. You just drag the thing over. And change the number of columns to 2. Kind of looks the same, but you can just put in more information if you need to. The only other piece of advice I'll give you is, let's say you've got let's see, more information, and you've got like this much stuff that you've gone into the article, and you've got this big gap here. Well, instead of doing this, which you can sometimes, because if you've got another little article that'll fit in there, that's fine. But sometimes it's okay to have it like this, because what we do, if it's like a quarter page, sometimes we can just insert another add thing that we've got. Let's say insert picture from file. Let's go with March 2025. Like the summer fate. Oh, make sure it's not embedded. Make sure it's embedded, not linked. Make sure it's embedded. Click on it. Yes. Oops. Yeah. Undo it from the text. Boom. Click it. Make sure you got it clicked properly. Bring it down. Bring it up. And boom. So fairly nice. Okay? Well, hopefully that helps you. If you got other problems or questions, just let me know, or you can let Tim know. And hopefully, we'll be able to do good and great things for the Cambourne crier because of this. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and good night.